Welcome back, and we are going to be discussing in today's video a major blow with the entire internet computer ecosystem voting no on a major subnet change that could change the world for the internet computer ecosystem. But the community and the network voted no. So we're going to cover that along with some many other topics, including the tokenomics of the Internet Computer Protocol, where we are from a tokenomics perspective, and with the implementation of Caffeine AI, the premier AI capability that allows you to code and develop and then deploy and host actual programs, websites, or other things like dApps with a whole app store on the Internet Computer Protocol. And so let's get into it. And by the way, this is the Cryptoviser podcast. We talk about everything crypto, blockchain, and investing every single day of the year. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive into this major on-chain vote for the Internet Computer Protocol to expand. But sometimes we do macro investment conversations where we talk about all the different cryptos, all the different markets, stocks, bonds, treasuries, everything. So make sure you're subscribed, give the video a thumbs up. The more you thumbs up the videos, the more that you will see them on YouTube, and you can stay on top of the latest happening in the crypto space. And so in today's video, we're going to be discussing the internet computer and this major blow with a vote of no. So as many of you guys know, governance on the Internet Computer Protocol is open and very transparent. You can actually go on the Internet Computer dashboard, just click on governance and then click on proposals and actually read through what changes people are proposing, developers, individuals, Dfinity, to the Internet Computer ecosystem, and then actually go in and not only vote, but actually see how other major players and whales like Dfinity, like some of the developer communities, how they're voting on these proposals. And from my understanding, you can even utilize your ICP and create a smart contract, create a canister that will basically allow the blockchain to follow another's vote. So let's say you want to vote the way that Dfinity, the main developer behind Internet Computer, votes. You can set your coins to vote the same way that Dfinity is voting. So there is a lot going on here. And one of the reasons I love Internet Computer governance, that's what we call this, right? Governance, is because it's so transparent. You can just go on the proposals site on their dashboard and go through every individual proposal, see how every node operator or neuron voted. Go vote yourself, see, what is going on in the ecosystem. And that is what we've done. And previously, I posted a video called ICP, the USA Rollout. And if you have not seen that video, I definitely recommend watching it. Go to youtube.com/thecryptoviser, click my link down below, and then click on the video tab, or just type in ICP, the Cryptoviser here on YouTube, and you should be able to see that video. This video right here, the ICP, the USA Rollout. And in this video, we discuss the proposal that was currently for vote about adding a US specific subnet to the Internet Computer Protocol. And this proposal says creating a new subnet with these nodes. The motivation, this proposal creates a brand new US only application subnet, which will provide Internet Computer developers with an environment for jurisdiction specific workloads and a latency optimized experience for users in the region. This is in line with previously adopted motion proposal this. And basically, we covered this in previous videos. This was approved overwhelmingly in the middle of 2025, with over 73, almost 74% of the votes saying yes. And this proposal was basically to increase the number of Internet Computer application subnets, which basically run the network. We call them subnets right here. Not going to get too deep into all of these definitions on today's video, but we have talked about them on previous. And so they wanted to increase the subnets to 60 total subnets from 31, basically doubling, with each application subnet consisting of 13 nodes. So 13 nodes on 60 subnets. You do the math there. It's a pretty big network. The purpose is to further support the growth of the internet computer, particularly in response to the increasing demand from Caffeine AI, the self-writing apps platform. Additionally, they said they propose adding a US-based subnet to the topology. The creation of a US-based subnet aims to ensure regional compliance within the network. Since the introduction of an EU-based subnet, the community has consistently expressed interest in having a counterpart in the US. This proposal addresses that demand and enables more geographically diverse deployment options for internet computer developers. And so this is what the new proposed topology that was approved looks like. So you can pause the video right here if you want to see it. But yeah, this was approved. And you can actually go to the bottom and actually see Dfinity, their neuron number 27, and that's the top right there. They voted yes. Internet computer developers, they voted yes. Crypto is good, voted yes. And so you can see who voted, why they voted, and all of that. And so this was approved. But then the proposal to actually start the US-based subnet was rejected overwhelmingly by 88% voting no. So what in the ICP is going on here? Well, I don't really know. I mean, we have covered other proposals where they were talking about transferring ownership from a previous LLC to Parify Technologies, which is a US-based blockchain infrastructure provider for Ethereum, Solana, and now Internet Computer. And they were going to be setting up data centers or taking ownership of the data centers from New York and Jacksonville, Florida. And those proposals were approved. And so ownership of the nodes was changed and was approved by the network. And what I have been seeing from the proposals thus far is all of the steps needed to not only change ownership, but remove the previous node operator, which they call Rivonia Holdings, and transfer ownership to that other infrastructure company that I was just talking about called Parify Technologies. And so those have been approved. The node ownership changes have been approved and have already been implemented on chain. You can see that right here. But for some reason, the network voted overwhelmingly no to creating a US-based subnet. And I'm not sure why. Now they linked to this, which is the Dfinity forum about the conversation about this, this whole adjustment. So it says, out of interest, do you know why the US proposed subnet is not being introduced as a rented subnet? The Swiss subnet team had to front a lot of ICP and are putting in a significant effort to ensure conformance to the ICP target topology, the proposal that did pass that I just showed you. Do we know why this wasn't deemed appropriate for the US subnet? What will this mean for the future of country subnets? This guy from Dfinity said, Swiss subnet is an initiative of the Swiss Subnet AG, which decided to rent this to use this subnet exclusively for its own purposes. US subnet is not like this. It will be publicly available subnet just like other application subnets, including the European one. And keep in mind, the Internet Computer does have a European-only subnet that's based for some of the compliance laws that they have over in Europe. So that's something important to know. It's already deployed on the Internet Computer. And so Alex said Dfinity rejected this proposal, the US-only subnet. He said, we would like to thank our vigilant reviewers for pointing out inconsistencies between the proposal and the data center ownership limit in the target topology. We'll do better planning and be back with new proposals soon. So interesting. They're saying there was inconsistencies between the proposals and the DC ownership limit in the topography. And the topography is what I showed you in this proposal. And so the US subnet, it's showing one subnet with 13 nodes, total 13 nodes. And the subnet limit it's showing is 1. And the node limit is 13. So this would be an inconsistency, and let me explain why. Because in their original proposal, this shows 13 total subnets. Sorry, total nodes. But the thing is, the Jacksonville, the Jacksonville data center and the New York data center combined, they have more than 13 nodes. And so that would be an issue, I would imagine, understanding that the New York and Jacksonville data centers have more than 13 nodes combined. And if the maximum that you can add to the US subnet is 13, well, that would be an issue, right? And maybe the idea is that not all of the subnets or all of the nodes in the US need to be part of the US only subnet. But I would imagine there would be no other, there wouldn't be a reason to not have all of the nodes in the US on the US subnet, especially if you're looking from a compliance and consistency standpoint. But again, I'm an investor. I'm not a coder. I'm not a developer of these ecosystems. So my job is to look at these proposals and look at how the health of the network looks, what the future of the network is, what they're trying to develop, what the community wants to approve or not approve. And so when I first saw the non-approval by overwhelming majority, I was like, what the hell is going on here? Is Internet Computer not going to deploy in the US? Are they not interested in having US usage of the network? No. There's always an explanation to why this is not occurring. And so just going to the forum and seeing what the Dfinity team is saying, you can clearly see that there was inconsistencies in the total number of nodes, the number of nodes in the US, and the number of nodes that you want to see actually deployed. So it sounds like it's more of a technical error, and it either needs to be corrected in that original proposal about the topography, or they just need to create multiple US subnets. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but I'm sure maybe even by the time you're watching this video, there's going to be new proposals out, because literally every single day that I go into the neurons, and I usually click on Dfinities to see all of the actual proposals that are up for vote. And the easiest way to do that is just go into one of the proposals, click on the Dfinity neuron, which is 27, and then you just scroll to the bottom and you can see all of the actual potential votes and actual votes that are being submitted to the main net, and actually just click into them and see how others are voting, what the conversation is. And one thing that I like about what Internet Computer does with their voting proposals is they put in, where the discussion was. So they're saying like this was in line with a previous proposal, and you can click into that proposal, and then you can see the conversation from that proposal in the actual Dfinity forum. So everything is linked, so you can understand why they're voting things through or not voting things through, or why they're looking to add a technology. And one of the things that I've identified is most of these proposals have been in conversation for multiple years. And so that's something to keep in mind as well. One of the other major changes that we saw just recently on the Internet Computer is how the Internet Computer views their tokenomics, specifically their total ICP supply. One of the things that one of our viewers called out just recently was that we saw a major increase back in April in the circulating supply of Internet Computer Protocol. But if you just looked at this chart and said, wow, the circulating supply went from 480 million all the way up to 530 million, that's a big increase. Something must not be right here. Maybe they're inflating the coin and I don't know about it. Or you can do a little bit of research. And when you do a little bit of research, it's very easy to find the reason. So when you click on the little I, the information tab, it says the total supply of Internet Computer is the sum of all the ICP tokens that exist, whether they're liquid or staked. Because remember, on Internet Computer, when you're staking your coins, you can stake it for a certain amount of time, anywhere from a few months to 8 years, right? And so it continues saying circulating supply is defined to be identical to the total supply. For details on the previous and current definitions of circulating supply, go here. And so if you look back in April, they voted, the whole network voted to pass this proposal with 65% of the vote. And this basically increased what the total supply is and the circulating supply to what the actual number was. So you can see here that previously the total supply, while yes, it was increasing, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but the circulating supply was less. That's because they didn't add the Dfinity holdings to this number. All they did was they just changed the definition of circulating supply, and that's why the circulating supply increased. But a lot of people say Cryptoviser, but either way, Internet Computer is inflating. So what? So what? Look at how much it is inflating. That's really the thing that we should be looking at. So the total supply back when Internet Computer first started back in 2021, you can see that the total supply was 469 million coins. Now the total is 534 million coins, which is about a 10% increase. So there is some inflation occurring over the course of the last 4 years. It's about 2 to 3% a year, which is really kind of in line with most other protocols and the US dollar, at least from what the Federal Reserve tells us the inflation number is. So 2 to 3%. But at the end of the day, all the coins are now in circulation. There's no coins that we have to worry about being dumped on the market. Could Dfinity dump some of their coins? Of course they can. But Dfinity only has a certain number of coins also. It's not like we're going to have constant dilution of the coin forever and ever, and it's going to be such a high amount that it's going to affect the price. Because in fact, if you look at the price movements, when they changed the definition of circulating supply, that was actually the bottom formation of the price chart in 2025. And the price has not gone lower than where we were in the lead up to this. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But in today's video, I really wanted to cover the no vote on the US subnet, because at just a first glance, it could look, whoa, is the US not getting a subnet for Internet Computer? But the actual answer is no. They probably are, and we're probably going to see it happening fairly soon. But first, they have to make sure that the proposal is accurate, correct, and also allows the ability for future nodes and to join the subnet as well. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of conversation. If you did, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments of the video, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll see you on the next video. Invest responsibly, do your own research, and crypto on.